Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. It's just on 11:30. Welcome to our cooking demonstration. We do have over 160 cooks who work on board the Queen Mary 2. We have 10 dining outlets, and a very fine operation it is. And we're very proud of our chefs and all their utilities that support them in the overall food operation. And today you're in for a feast because they're going to do a little filet Wellington, I heard, some chocolate and things that we all love. First of all, I'm very proud to introduce one of our executive chefs on board in certain areas. He is, in fact, the executive sous chef, and he comes from York, in Yorkshire. So give him a nice hand for my good friend Mark here. And from Sydney in Australia, our demonstration chef, give him a nice hand for Craig Morgan. Take it away, guys.
That's right. Good morning, everybody. As I said, my name's Mark. Okay, I'm from Yorkshire, just like Ray said. Okay, what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be making a beef Wellington and a chocolate fallen cake, one of my favourite chocolate desserts, the best ever 1,000-calorie dessert you're ever going to get. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that. Craig, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be doing 2 dishes as well.
Wow.
This is actually a first for me to do
First
too.
for you.
But I'll be doing one of the dishes from the Todd English, which is the lamb rack with trio of salads and sauce roux. And I'll also be doing a Margaret duck dish with potato rosti and forest mushroom sauce. And so it's going to be full on today, so please keep it. But if you miss anything, it's going to be on telly again later, so you can take notes if you miss. Okay, Mark, do you want to...
I'll just explain what I'm going to do, and then I'll leave it over to you.
Cool,
Okay.
I'll get mine going.
Right, so the beef Wellington, one of my most favourite dishes, because I like pastry, everything fattening in there, you know. That's what I'm all about. There's no Canyon Ranch in my menus, okay? So what we're going to do, we've got a beautiful piece of fillet here, okay? Nice piece of fillet, prime bit of meat that, all right? So we're going to be using that, and I'm going to seal that in a hot pan with salt and pepper, and then I'm going to brush it with Dijon mustard. What I'm going to use, some people use crepes over the pastry, but I don't. I like to use ham, so I'm going to be using ham on the base. Then for my pâté mixture, I'm going to be using a combination of veal mince and foie gras pâté. Okay, foie gras pâté is very expensive. The only reason I've got it is because I'm not paying for it. I just pick it up from the stores. A bit of truffle in there as well, you know. And then a mushroom duxelle and shallots and garlic. A duxelle is basically a brunoise of shallots and mushrooms which have been finely diced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute the mushrooms, the shallots and the garlic, saute them down until they're fully cooked, let them cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to add the foie gras and the veal, and you'll see it come together, okay? So I'll start doing that, and then Craig will start with his stuff. All right? Over to you.
Cool. Okay, we're going to go with both the meats at the same time to start because we need them to cook. The first one that I'll do is the marinade. And we're using the duck breast for this. And first of all, we're just using, and the reason it's called Margaret duck is actually that's the type of duck breast, the place where it's come from. The other ones you might have heard from are like Barbary duck. We're using Margaret's. Or Mesuré, if you're French. Mesuré.
Margaret.
I can't do French accents, sorry. And so, but what we're going to do first is score the flesh. So with the fat, we're just going to score through it. We'll just cut through it. And what that is just, it's going to release. So, but we're only cutting through. So we're only getting to the flesh. We don't want to cut through the flesh, otherwise then juices of the meat start coming out, and that's the stuff we want to keep. What this does is just open it up, and as we cook it, the fat will run out as it cooks. So it's just going to be like rendering the fat away or melting it away in a way. And so that's all scored, and that's also going to help the skin become nice and crispy. And for our marinade, what we're going to start off with, this is quite a sweet marinade, and we're just using some orange juice, fresh orange juice. You can leave the seeds in there. A little bit of honey. Just like so. Some fresh thyme. Just break this up, throw them in. And also a vanilla pod. Now this is vanilla pod. This is fresh vanilla pod. I'm not sure if Mark will be using. No, it's another dessert.
Not today.
And this is fresh. This is the best stuff there is. So it's dried out. I'm only using a little bit because it's really, and it's expensive as well. But when you're paying for the best, you get the best. And so what we do is just crack this open. For some reason it's not for me. And then we just open it up and we just scoop out all the inside. And what we end up with, if you have a look on the side of my plate here, is like very fine little black dots. It's almost like a fine ground black pepper. And so we're going to put that in, and it's a beautiful vanilla flavor. So you can just open that up. And also going in, some olive oil that Mark's probably taken.
I had your olive oil, and you know what I'm like. If I rob it, I'd never give it back. So there you are.
Exactly.
All right.
So we might as well put a lot in. That way we can use all we need before he takes it all. And keep that over here. And another key point as well, because we want to keep the flesh nice and crispy and flavour the meat, just place the meat in there. You don't want to get this marinade on the flesh. Because of all the sugars, when you cook it, it's going to become nice and golden or go and get close to very burnt in the end. So that's what we're doing there. And so then to cooking it, we're just going to put it on a cold pan and on a moderate heat. So just on about medium with the heat here. And so now with the marinades in, so this thing you do marinate about for 2 or 3 hours beforehand. So either like do it in the morning and then before you're making it at night. And it goes into a cold pan. And the reason for that is we're going to slowly cook out that fat and it becomes nice and crispy and all the fat runs out. So there's no sound, there's no sizzling, and it's dry. So in about 5 minutes you'll see a nice pool of fat on there. And so I'm going to hand over to Mark unless he wants me to keep going.
Okay, so meanwhile I've just sealed the beef. Okay, so I had a hot pan there, salt and pepper, a little bit of olive oil. So you can see I've just sealed that. What I've done is that I've sealed the juices in. The reason why we seal the juice in is that we want to keep the meat moist while cooking. And that's why we do that. And what I'm going to do with this now is I'm just going to brush a little bit of mustard over it. Dijon mustard, it gives it extra flavour. So this is what I'm doing, just brushing that over there. Right, now we're starting the farce. As you can see there, we've got the duxelle cooking, the mushroom, the shallot, and the garlic. We're going to cook that together, like we are doing now. And then, like I said, we're going to let it cool slightly, and then we're going to add the veal mince and the foie gras, and then with some chopped parsley and chives and a little bit of seasoning, and that's going to be our pâté. Like I didn't say before, but you don't have to use a foie gras pâté. You can use a chicken liver pâté if you wish, if you don't want to be. It depends if you want to impress your friends, you know what I mean? And what budget you're on.
But then again, you can use chicken liver parfait and tell them you're using foie gras.
Not everybody's a connoisseur of foie gras. So.
You know.
Okay, Craig, you can start again.
Okay, so now we're going to go on to our lamb rack. This one's been marinated for me already. The guys in Todd English actually do this for me. So Siraj and Ernest, cheers. And what we've done, they've marinated this already in just like a salsa verde style, which is just some parsley, some rosemary, and some fresh thyme. And those herbs just pureed up with a little bit of oil to give it a nice coating on there. And you do both sides. And what we do now, I've already got this pan preheating because we're going to get a nice seal on this one for the lamb rack. But what we're going to do first of all is take off the bone, but still keep it. And I'll show you why. So it's just more of a look thing. And also by taking it off, because we're only doing it in the pan, because we don't have an oven, it just helps cook it a bit quicker. So we're doing just a dab of oil. And then first of all, it's a nice smoking hot pan right from the start. And by doing this as well, you'll find whatever you're putting in won't stick. So nice one down. And we're also going to put the bone in. Get this cooking as well. And turn that heat right down. And we're just going to get a nice seal on there. And then we're going to go into our garnish for our lamb, which will be the trio of salads I'm going to be starting after this one. If Mark's got something to do, I'll go straight into it.
Stealing a bit of your parsley there, actually. There we are.
That's
okay, so I'm just going to let that mushroom mixture just cool down a little bit because I don't want to put that in straight away. At home, you can just leave it to cool down for 10 minutes, so, right? Right, the sauce. I started my sauce last night. I made a reduction of veal stock, which I reduced right down and you get a jelly. Basically, I picked it up from the production this morning. I know you all have different styles of gravies and things like that, but I did a real nice reduction. It was about this, the pan was about this size when I started, full of stock, okay, and I reduced it right down to a quarter. You get the richness there, okay? So I've got that there, and I've just got some Madeira in there, and I'm reducing it right down. So I'm reducing the Madeira down, and then I'm going to add the sauce to the demi-glace to that. And what we'll do, we'll finish it off with some chopped truffles. Does everybody know what truffles are? It's actually a posh fungi, okay? Pigs find these things at the bottom of trees and things like that. But you know, it's a delicacy, very expensive. And then we're going to finish it off with a few porcini mushrooms as well to give it a nice flavour. But we'll go through that when we finish it. What we're going to be using for the pastry is puff pastry, which you can buy from all supermarkets around the world. We've been there. So Walmart's in America, Sainsbury's in England, so on. If you want to make it, you can make it, but that's another lesson. It takes too long. So this is about the only thing that we do buy on board, actually, to be honest with you. So we're going to use 1 sheet of puff pastry for the base. And then I'll show you how to build it up once it's cooled slightly. Over to you, Craig.
Groovy. So we're going to go into the first of our salads now for the trio. This is with the lamb, so make sure you specify which is going with the lamb, which is going with the duck. But the first one is with the lamb. And what we got first of all, this is the roast pepper and red onion salad. Now this is like a normal red pepper or capsicum, wherever you're from in the world. And what we've done is roast that on a hot oven for about like 200 degrees centigrade for about 15-20 minutes. And then the skin gets nice and coloured, and then we take it out in a bowl and cover it. And then that excess steam helps make it soft, and then you just peel off all the skin and take out the seeds. That's going to take too long. So here's some I've prepared earlier. I've always wanted to say that.
That's Blue Peter, no?
Is it? Oh, what's that?
Did you have Blue Peter in Oz?
We had Play School.
Pardon?
That was my children's show growing up, and Humphrey B. Bear. He was a bear that wore no pants. But I didn't realise that was weird until I got to about 16. It was normal. So bears don't wear pants anyway. So, but that's what we're doing. So start with the red pepper. And so now, as you can see, when you roast these, they take on a different flavour. And so then we just go on some nice julienne, which is a fancy word for finely sliced. And with that, just into a bowl. And we're also doing a little bit of red pepper. Now, when you're doing the slices of red onion, take out that core at the back. That way, all the slices will nicely separate. And get some nice thin slices. And that way, they'll all break up within it. So just nice and easy like that. And then we got some fresh basil. They didn't trust me chopping it myself, so they've chopped it for me. Thanks, guys. And we're going a little bit of balsamic vinegar, just a touch, and the olive oil that I've kept hidden. Now, all these salads I'll be doing, we make and we let them stand for at least about half an hour, just to get all the flavours together, pretty much. And so naturally, just a quick stir, and then it gets it all going to go. And then that's that one done. And then go on to the next one, unless Mark's got something else.
Yeah, I've just finished the stuffing. You saw me incorporating all that together. So now we're going to do the next job.
One. So I can clean down my mess.
Right, so we've got our pastry on the base. I'll just move that to the side so the camera can look. So we've got our pastry, our sheet of pastry. So we're going to lay the ham on next. Going to put it, just leave about 1 inch from each end. Okay, you see that on the TV there. We can put about 3 slices on each side. This is actually good as well because it stops the pastry from going soggy as well. But also you get the flavour as well, which is one of the reasons. You don't have to use, this is just regular cooked ham, but if you want you can use prosciutto ham or black forest ham. It depends if you want to create a new flavour. The sauce I'm just slowly reducing there. Right, the next stage is we're going to get our beef fillet, which I just got from here. And the stuffing. So we've got our lovely beef fillet there. And now the stuffing we put on top, or the farce on top of the ham like so. I think I've used nearly all the spoons now. I'll stop using your spoons.
It's all right.
Okay, and then you're just going to push this all over the ham like so. It's your base. Just like that. Are you all enjoying the food on board?
Yes.
I hope so. One of my jobs actually as executive sous chef is the food cost, so I know you're enjoying it. Okay, so you can spread that over like so. And then you place your beef fillet at the end, like so. Next job, we get some egg wash, which is just beaten egg. And we're going to go all around the sides like this. It's going to create a seal. I'm going to turn my sauce down because you've got to do 100 things at once. Okay. And then down the end here. So what we're going to do is going to roll it now. A posh sausage roll. Okay, this is what they always say to me. So just push it up like that until your pastry comes to the end. And make sure your pastry doesn't overlap inside. Because if it